God and I are one. These words are not just a title, they are an eternal declaration. God and I are one. Picture the ocean and its wave, different in form, yet of the same essence. So it is with you and the divine. Not a servant bowing before a distant throne, but the very consciousness that breathes, I am. In this recognition, the impossible dissolves. For when you awaken to the power of the mind and embrace that imagination creates reality, the entire world becomes the mirror of your inner state. Here is the shocking truth. The Son of Man is the eye of man. Your human imagination is the Christ within you, the power and the wisdom of God wearing your face. While the world bows to statues, you are invited to bow to awareness itself, to the effortless center from which all forms spring. When you say, I am, you are lighting the sun. When you add a name to it, I am free, I am beloved, I am chosen, you cast a new constellation across the canvas of your days. This is not poetry alone. This is mechanics of spirit, the physics of consciousness, the law of attraction understood at its source. You descended, says the Scripture, to ascend with treasure, experience, wisdom, love seasoned by limitation. You entered the play and forgot you were the playwright. You wore masks so convincingly that the mask began to speak. Yet the pattern was planted in you like a serpent of fire, asleep at the base of the spine, waiting for the hour of rising. Heaven was never a distant geography. Heaven is harmony in you, a skull of stars, an inner Jerusalem. And you ascend the moment you choose to assume, in silence, in faith, with the tenderness of someone watering a secret garden at night. Neville's teaching is impossibly simple. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Assume it now, not tomorrow, not when the world gives permission, not when circumstances agree. You move to the end and live there in imagination, and the end becomes your beginning. You pray as if it were already done, because in your inner world it is done. The world is the slow echo of what you dare to feel as true. Consider the woman who needed provision, the artist with paint on her fingers and bills at her door. She did not argue with the figures. She revised the figure within. She sat with the invisible and thanked it until gratitude became a weather, and the weather became a phone call, and the phone call became an order. No ceremony, no pleading, just the quiet majesty of a mind deciding. If imagination is God in expression, then confidence is reverence. To assume boldly is to worship rightly. Do not devise the means, Neville said. Do not dictate the path to the infinite intelligence that breathes your lungs. Go to the end. Kneel there in feeling. Carve the scene with your inner hands. Hear the voice that would congratulate you. Touch the signature on the contract. Smell the room where the news arrives. Then let it fall, like a seed withdrawn into soil. Something in you knows the root, the wise serpent, the ascending flame. It will orchestrate coincidences with a composer's ear. The old habits protest. They say, be reasonable, be realistic. But realism without revelation is only repeating what already is. The creative power of the mind is not beholden to yesterday. You are not a historian of disappointments. You are an architect of mornings. The law is impersonal. As within, so without. It does not judge the scene you hold, it merely projects it. Which is why we keep the golden rule near our breath. Do to another only what you desire returned. For in imagination there is no another. All selves share one root, the I am that calls us by our secret name. Tonight, if you choose, you can end an old life. You can step outside of every label and let the cold wind of possibility touch your face. Stand at a window in your mind and watch your new life already alive. Hear the faint laughter from the next room. Feel the weight of the key that opens the door you once thought belonged to someone else. Let the scene run until it moves you, until your body tells the truth your mind is learning. Then be still. Walk gently. Let the echo spread. And when doubt returns, as it will, do not wrestle with shadows. Return to the upper room. Even a 30-second inward nod to your fulfilled end realigns the compass. Practice is devotion. Your inner rituals are building a cathedral of results, stone by luminous stone. If a single whispered assumption can move the world, what happens when your entire identity remembers it is God in disguise? You were never asked to perform magic tricks on the outer world. You were asked to believe, to stand in the end scene with such quiet authority that the world bows to it without a fight. Conscious manifestation is not a spectacle. It is a surrender of the old self, the old explanations, the old resignation. It is the most intimate rebellion to love your result into being before anyone else can see it. Sit with me in the upper room, the secret chamber behind the brow. Close the doors of the senses as you would close the shutters before a storm. Breathe. Name the state you choose. I am chosen. I am well. I am loved. I am prosperous. Let it thicken into feeling. Imagine a friend you trust. Hear them say, "I knew you could. I'm so proud of you." Feel the warmth in your chest, the soft, unmistakable rightness. That's prayer. That's the ark gathering 2 by 2 everything you require. The opportunity, the courage, the timely call, the uncanny encounter. You do not wrestle, you welcome. Neville taught, test yourselves. Do you not realize that Jesus Christ is in you? This is not metaphor to pacify the mind. It is a key meant to open. If Christ is in you as your own imagination, then you stand tonight at the river with a choice: to wade back into the old current of fear, or to step onto the dry path that appears the instant you claim it. The sea will part for the one who walks as if it already has. Do not be lukewarm. A cool prayer breeds cool results. If you desire, desire intensely, without strain, without panic, but with the focused flame of a lover writing a letter at midnight. Be hot or be cold, Scripture says, but do not be tepid. The universe reads clarity. Even a simple inward gesture, placing the outcome in your hands and thanking it, can turn a destiny. Gratitude is gravity. It draws the unseen into form. But what of my past, you ask? What of the failures? Child of the infinite, even your past is clay when held in the furnace of revision. Tonight, before sleep, revisit the scene that still stings. Change it. Hear the kind word instead of the cutting one. Watch the door open instead of close. Feel the handshake that never came, the apology that never arrived. This is not denial. It is dominion. Memory too obeys the I am. Revise it until peace replaces the old echo. Then sleep in that peace. Your subconscious, the great workshop, will echo your revision into tomorrow's facts. And if you have asked another to help you pray, choose the one who knows to go to the end and then forget the mechanics. Do not supervise the infinite. Do not instruct the river how to arrive at the ocean. If they truly hear your fulfilled desire, it is done in the only place that matters first, within. From there, it cannot fail to bloom. Hear me, the world is a shadow, a photograph developing from the negative of your inner assumption. Change the negative, and the print changes. The mind demands to know how and when. The heart smiles and says, now. In the deeper law, now is the only calendar, and here is the only address. You may be tempted to measure progress by outer signs, but the sign that matters is inward, the felt certainty that needs no witness. When you have that, signs multiply like swallows at dusk. You'll see it in small ways first: the right phrase in a book, the unexpected credit, the precise piece of information. Do not despise these beginnings. They are angels with ordinary faces. This is your hour. Choose a single sentence and carry it like fire. I am the one my life has been waiting for. Say it softly throughout the day, not as a spell, but as a smile. Let life lean toward it. Let conversations bend to meet it. Become a quiet yes to your own prophecy. If this is lighting a flame in you, join us in the 21-day challenge, a guided practice to install these truths as habits, to script and live the scene you came to play. The link is in the description and the pinned comment. Begin tonight. Walk with a community that believes as deeply as you dare to believe. Then return here, because the story isn't done. The serpent rises, not to terrify, but to testify. The same force that created galaxies curls awake in you and calls you Father of your world. Like David returning to recognize his source, your results will call you blessed and reveal your own face behind them. Not because of merit, not because of worldly rank, but by grace, pure grace, because the infinite elected to awaken as you. So choose a scene that honors the golden rule. Choose a desire that lifts the world by lifting you. For when one awakens, we all feel the breeze. When one candle is lit in a dark room, every face grows clearer. Be that candle. Be that room. What if the very next breath you take could end your waiting? Because the only door that ever mattered is opening from the inside. Let us make it practical. You do not need a cathedral to pray, only a quiet chair and your own attention. Begin with stillness. Let your breath descend like a feather. Then assume. Craft the scene precisely, but briefly. Keep it to a single frame that implies everything else. The weight of the diploma in your hands. The glow of your phone screen with the message, "You got it." The familiar ring of a loved one saying, "We did it." Let the frame be saturated with the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That feeling, more than the picture, is the creative substance. Once felt, release it. Do not pluck the seed to check its roots. Do not confess the opposite to a friend because the outer has not yet reflected the inner. Remain loyal to the new state. Loyalty is a magnet. It keeps you gravitationally bound to your chosen destiny. When fear whispers, answer with identity. I am. Not I will be. Not I hope to be. I am. This is the name that calms seas and invites bread to appear in wilderness. Speak it gently, but do not negotiate with lesser names. You are not your current bank balance. You are not your latest failure. You are not the weary story the world repeats back to you. You are awareness, free, creative, royal. From this throne, decree. Some will challenge you. They will say, Be practical. Smile. Practicality without imagination is building a ship in the desert and then scolding the ocean for not arriving. The ocean follows boldness. When you claim the end in faith, life becomes strangely obedient. People you've never met carry your parcel the last mile. Timing bends. The improbable develops a taste for your address. If you wish, apply revision as nightly hygiene. Take 5 minutes before sleep. Enter a scene you lived today and polish it until it reflects the truth you choose. Replace the argument with a blessing, the missed opportunity with a perfect landing. Sleep in that atmosphere. Your subconscious accepts the revised record as the only record. Tomorrow it arranges a matching scene, often with an elegance that disarms your skepticism. Do not sprinkle prayer with panic. Panic is the fragrance of separation. Remember, the Father and you are one in the only place that exists, within. If you must, step outside for a moment. Look at the sky. Let the immensity remind you that your consciousness is even vaster. Then return and feel it done. Conscious manifestation does not ask you to defy ethics. It asks you to refine desire. Would I gladly be the one receiving what I seek? Would I celebrate the ripple of this result if it moved through every life? If yes, proceed. If not, revise the desire until it blesses all. You will be tempted to hustle the outer world. There is a place for action, yes, but action as overflow, not as bargaining. Action that arises from the fulfilled state has a fragrance of inevitability. You send the message you would naturally send if it were already yours. You walk into the room as the one who belongs. You practice not to prove, but to express. This is the way of effortless victory. And when you falter, as all do, forgive swiftly. Self-forgiveness is not permission for careless living. It is the refusal to worship regret. Turn again. Assume again. Feel again. Every return strengthens the new groove, like a river carving a canyon out of stone. Eventually, resistance erodes, and your state becomes your scenery. If you desire companionship, do not plead for it as the lonely. Be the loved. Wear the fragrance of being chosen. Speak kindly to yourself. Set an extra cup on your inner table. If you desire health, do not speak as the sick awaiting rescue. Be the whole. Move as if the body has remembered its original script. If you desire prosperity, do not audition for worthiness in the marketplace. Be the abundant, quiet, generous, unsurprised when good arrives. Your life is the ark, and within it, 2 by 2, come pairs of states waiting for your choice. Fear or faith, complaint or gratitude, delay or decision. Choose. The dove will return to you with an olive leaf of evidence, but you must open the window first. There is no fiction. The world is full of headlines planted by imaginations both conscious and sleeping. Better to be the author than the echo. Better to hush the mind and let the deeper pen write. And that pen writes in present tense. If the world is only a mirror, what new light would you dare to bring to your own face? The pattern of awakening is seated in you, perfect and indestructible. One day the flame rises. One day the tomb opens from within, One day you discover that the Father you sought in temples was humming in your breath. Until that day, until that recognition burst into full morning, you live the pattern by faith. You assume, you revise, you bless, you become. You let the law of attraction serve the higher revelation that the I who attracts is the I who is. Do not wait for angels with trumpets. The angel is a hunch in rush hour traffic, a sentence in a book falling off a shelf, a stranger who says precisely what you needed to hear. The holy often speaks softly, so you can become holy by listening. And when you listen, you remember, I and my Father are one awareness, appearing as many faces. Now, promise time. In the opening, I told you there was a greater revelation to be unveiled in the closing moments. It is this: you never had to become worthy. You were chosen before the world by grace to bear the name I am. You came into a forgetting so that remembrance could be a victory and not a gift alone. You allowed the veil so that love could lift it with your own hands. The serpent rises, the ark opens, David calls you Father, and heaven is discovered where it has always been, within. Take your crown, not to rule over others, but over states. Rule over fear, rule over lack, rule over loneliness, rule over despair. Sit on the throne of identity, and from there extend the scepter of your assumption. Decree peace, decree abundance, decree companionship, decree creative work that honors your soul. Your decree is law, because your I am is the lawgiver. Now walk into the rest of this evening as one who has remembered. When the old reflex bites, smile and touch your chest. I am. When a door seems closed, close your eyes and walk through within. The outer must follow. Bless those who doubt you. They are only a memory you no longer need. Thank every obstacle for proving your authority. Then go on and live as if it were already done, because in the only realm that matters first, it is. And if you felt the stir of destiny while listening, answer it with practice. Give yourself these next 3 weeks as a vow. Join the 21-day challenge linked below and make your life the laboratory of wonders. Morning assumption, evening revision, and a simple daily act that flows from the state fulfilled. Let this be the month your biography changes tone forever. As you finish this story, another begins, one you'll write without apology. You arrived as a question, you leave as an answer. You arrived as an echo, you leave as a voice. Carry this sentence as you go. Imagination creates reality, and I am imagination awake. Move gently. Bless everything. And if tonight, in the privacy of your room, you feel the air change as if a window opened where there is none, smile. Heaven has always been inside your skull. We close as we began, but with a deeper knowing. Imagination creates reality. The power of the mind is a holy power. Conscious manifestation is the language of love speaking to itself. Wear your crown lightly, share your bread freely, and when the world asks for your secret, just say, I believed, and what I believed believed me back. If this message has become breath to you, become a channel member for early access to future films and teachings, and to support the work that supports you. The links are in the description. Until then, assume beautifully. The world is listening. When the world asks, who are you? Smile and answer with the oldest, truest name. I am.